the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Third ID continues to see a reversible collapse of NPA in Negros. Authorities nab Daula Islamiyah member in Maguindanao. Philippine Embassy in Tel Aviv recommends lowering alert level to 2. Big-time rollback in fuel prices next week.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Friday, June 27, and this is AFP Community News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I'm Rofh Suzon-Abay here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, 3rd Infantry Division asserts the communist insurgency in the Negros Island region is in irreversible decline despite the attacks by New People's Army remnants. 3rd ID Commander Major General Michael Sampson confirmed that all 5 guerrilla fronts in the region have been dismantled and remaining fighters are demoralized and disorganized. He urged the rebel holdouts to surrender peacefully, noting that violence is no longer the path forward. The military continues operations to hasten their surrender and restore the peace in affected communities.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Authorities arrested a Daula Islamiyah terrorist in an operation in Dato Abdullah Sangki, Maguindanao del Sur. Abu Usama, wanted for multiple charges, including murder and illegal possession of firearms, was taken without resistance. Authorities said that he is a founding member of the ISIS-linked Soc Sergeant Magid group and later joined the D.I. Hassan faction. He is currently under criminal investigation and detection group custody and will face legal proceedings.
Armed Forces Radio.
From our reporter on the ground, let us hear the report of Kath about Philippine Air Force to mark 78th anniversary with live capability demo.
Yes, Rofh, good noon. The Philippine Air Force will celebrate its 78th founding anniversary on July 1 with a live capability demonstration at Villamor Air Base, Pasay City, expected to be attended by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. PAF Chief Lieutenant General Arthur Cordura said the theme Focus PAF at 78 highlights the Air Force shift from internal security to territorial defense. The event will showcase air assets, radar systems, and sensors. Ahead of the anniversary, PAF conducted outreach programs, youth summits, and exhibits nationwide, emphasizing its commitment to mission, capability, and values. This is Kat reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Kath.
DWDD National News.
And now for our national news, the Land Transportation Office will begin an all-out operation this August, targeting vehicles with expired registration and those deemed unfit for road use. According to LTO Chief Assistant Secretary Vigor Mendoza II, the move comes amid rising road accidents caused by defective vehicles. A memorandum outlines stricter enforcement measures and penalties, including impoundment and fines up to 10,000 pesos, based on RA 4136 and JAO 2014-01. Mendoza emphasized that vehicle owners must comply with registration and roadworthiness requirements to avoid legal consequences.
DWDD National News.
Philippine National Police Chief Police General Nicolas Torre III led the recognition of 16 civilian tipsters whose vital information led to the arrest of wanted criminals nationwide. Among the awardees was a tipster from the Integrity Monitoring and Enforcement Group, whose report helped capture Police Corporal Salamanque, a police officer involved in illegal drug activities in Bicol. The IMEG tip earned their highest cash reward of 325,000 pesos. The PNP said these rewards aim to boost public cooperation in crime prevention and national security.
Armed Forces Radio.
From NOLCOM, let us hear some information from Joanne. What 5th ID aims to rid Cordillera of insurgents by year-end.
The 5th Infantry Division of the Northern Luzon Command of the Philippine Army is aiming to declare the Cordillera Administrative Region insurgency-free by the end of 2025. Colonel Darrell Banyas reported during the Cordillera Regional Peace and Order Council meeting that now there is only one communist terrorist group operating in Northern Luzon and within parts of Cordillera. The ICRC, or the Ilocos Cordillera Regional Committee, has 64 manpower and 54 firepower. The successful encounter with the CTGs in the month of April led to the recovery of 5 high-powered and 1 low-powered firearms and other war material. There is also a big decrease in monitored non-violent CTG activities, with 7 in the first quarter of 2025 compared to the 27 monitored during the same period last year. For wide area operation, the 5th ID also reported 15 sectoral front organizations that undergo area clearing validation. The 5th ID vowed that community-based peace programs would continue. Intelligence operations would be strengthened and more resources would be allocated for the sustainability of the cleared barangays. As threat from the CTG dwindles, the Philippine Army prepares for the shift of focus to territorial defense operations. Internal security operations will be transferred to the provincial local government units with the help of the Philippine National Police. The higher-ups are set to conduct tabletop exercises for such purposes. Meanwhile, the Police Regional Office Cordillera reported that in line with its campaign against terrorism, 10 CTG members have voluntarily surrendered and withdrew support, and 1 was arrested. This is John Sagak reporting for AFP Community News 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne from NOLCOM.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Transportation has delayed the distribution of fuel subsidies to affected sectors, pending a rise in global oil prices to $80 per barrel. DOTR Secretary Vince Diza said the current price of $69 per barrel does not meet the triggered threshold. Once the benchmark is reached, the government is ready to release aid to over 1.1 million beneficiaries, including PUV, tricycle, ENVS, and delivery drivers. The subsidy will be distributed via fuel cards, e-wallets, bank transfers, or cash.
DWDD National News.
The Philippine Embassy in Tel Aviv has recommended lowering the alert level in Israel. This came after the normalization of activities in the Jewish state amid the ceasefire between Iran and Israel. DFA Assistant Secretary for Middle East and African Affairs Germinia Aguilar Usudan. The recommendation lowering to alert level 2 came from Philippine Ambassador to Israel Eileen Mendiola Rao. But Aguilar Usudan added that they still have to get the approval from Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear from Jai about 14 RCDG backs OCD car rescue Olympics to boost disaster response readiness.
Rofh, the Office of the Civil Defense Cordillera, spearheaded a site inspection and props management meeting at Benguet Sports Complex yesterday for the upcoming 2025 Rescue Olympics. Newly installed 14th Regional Community Defense Group Commander Colonel Oscar B. Balignasay Jr. joined the Cordillera RDRRMC Technical Working Group. It emphasized the full support of reservist units for regional disaster risk reduction activities. The Rescue Olympics, part of National Disaster Resilience Month, will assess and enhance the disaster response skills of local government units across the region. This is Joy reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jai.
DWDD National News.
Relatedly, more overseas Filipino workers are backing out of their plan to return home following the ceasefire between Israel and Iran. Department of Migrant Workers Under Secretary Felicitas Bay said that around 200 OFWs had second thoughts about availing themselves of the government's voluntary repatriation program. He added that others opted to stay and work in Israel while over 30 have already decided to stay and discontinue with their intent to have themselves repatriated. Since Alert Level 3 is in effect in Israel, Bay said the repatriation of OFWs is just voluntary and the DMW cannot force them if they opt to stay and continue to work.
DWDD National News.
This is good news because motorists could expect a breather in the coming week as petroleum prices calm down amid the anticipated de-escalation of Israel-Iran tensions. The estimated downward price adjustments are 1 peso to 1 peso and 40 centavos per liter of gasoline and 1 peso and 60 centavos to 2 pesos and 10 centavos per liter of diesel. Meanwhile, kerosene prices are expected to go down by 2 pesos to 2 pesos and 20 centavos per liter. The estimates are based on 4-day trading in the MOPS, or the Mean of Platts, Singapore.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let's hear more from Meljoy of 1st CRG about Archipelagic Coastal Defense Preparedness Exercise kicks off in Ilocos Norte.
Yes, Rofh, the fourth iteration of the Archipelagic Coastal Defense Preparedness Exercise officially commenced through a ceremonial opening held at Headquarters Fort Marine Macusog Brigade, Camp Cape Bojidor, Burgos, Ilocos Norte. The exercise aims to evaluate the students of the Marine Corps Force Development Center together with Fort Marine Brigade and executing the mission essential task in territorial defense operations. The exercise will include training events such as maritime key terrain security operations, counter-land live fire integration, and special operations. These events are designed to simulate realistic combat and humanitarian scenarios that will test the agility and responsiveness of participating units. This is Meljoy Nasho Arroco reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoy of 1st CRG.
DWDD National News.
The National Food Authority has issued stricter guidelines regarding the palay procurement to ensure the government support reaches genuine farmers and not middlemen. The new regulation aims to enhance transparency and uphold President Marcos's directive to secure the fair market prices for farmers and increase their income. Under the revised rules, only verified farmers, those listed in the registry system for basic sectors in agriculture or certified by their local government units, will be allowed to sell palay to NFA. Each regional branch of the agency will also have to submit and display monthly lists detailing the names of sellers and volumes of palay delivered.
DWDD National News.
The report with transportation said it would seek the guidance of the economic managers regarding the 1 peso provisional fare increase being pushed by drivers and operators of public utility vehicles. The petition for a fare hike was triggered by the consecutive big-time spikes in pump prices. Transport Secretary Vince Dizon emphasized that they need to balance the impact of the fare increase on commuter and drivers. Transport groups including Pasang Mazda, Alliance of Transport Operators and Driver Association of the Philippines, and Alliance of Concerned Transport Organizations have been pushing for a fare increase to cushion the impact of rising oil prices.
Armed Forces Radio.
And now from Palawan, more updates from June about Peace and Order program unites El Nido youth for awareness and advocacy.
A Peace and Order Program initiative titled United for Peace, Sovereignty, and Humanity Defend Palawan Empower Lives was successfully conducted on June 26, 2025 at El Nido National High School, gathering senior high school students for a day of meaningful learning and civic engagement. From 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., students participated in a series of lectures addressing urgent social and national concerns. The Provincial Social Welfare and Development Office, or PSWDO, opened the event with a talk on teenage pregnancy, emphasizing the consequences of early parenthood and the importance of education and reproductive health. This was followed by a discussion on anti-insurgency, led by the Provincial Office for Peace and Order, or POP, Tactical Operations Wing West and Cadre Palawan, focusing on local peace efforts and the youth's role in promoting community stability. In a segment highlighting national sovereignty, the Western Command through the 6 Civil Relations Group, Civil Relations Service, Armed Forces of the Philippines discussed West Philippine Sea awareness, reinforcing the importance of national territorial integrity and active citizenship. The day concluded with a lecture on anti-human trafficking delivered by Attorney Roniel Yuliao, who emphasized legal protections and preventive measures to help raise awareness among senior high school students, especially in recognizing risks and protecting vulnerable individuals within their communities. The event served as a collaborative effort to inform and empower the youth of El Nido. Organizers and stakeholders expressed hopes of replicating similar programs across Palawan to strengthen peace, security, and civic consciousness throughout the province. And that's the latest update. This is Katrobang Junes reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Junes from Palawan.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, the government is cracking down on abusive taxi drivers and airport transport scams. The Department of Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon vowed to step up the agency's campaign to remove dishonest taxi drivers and their cohorts who prey on both Filipino and foreign travelers at the NAIA. Dizon said the crackdown against corrupt taxi drivers at NAIA is in response to President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s directive to put a stop to the abusive practices. He also added that since the start of the NAIA crackdown, a total of 11 taxi drivers have been apprehended for overcharging and using expired or fake taxi franchises.
DWDD National News.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority released security footage of individuals suspected of stealing cable wires from newly installed No Contact Apprehension Program or NCAP CCTV along the Guadalupe overpass in Makati City. The video captured the suspects loitering at the area before allegedly cutting and taking the cables. MMDA chairperson Don Artes said, however, that the theft appeared to be motivated by the resale value of the cables rather than opposition to the NCAP. He also further explained that the suspects did not break the camera and just severed the wires and took it. To prevent similar incidents, the MMDA plans to install protective covers over its surveillance cameras.
Armed Forces Radio.
More updates from Leonor. Philippine Marine Corps welcomes new reservists after successful training.
Philippine Marine Corps proudly welcomed its newest Marine Reservists after they completed the Marine Ethos and Modified Call to Arms training. Representing the Acting Commandant Colonel Tino Maslan, MC8, witnessed the ceremony, marking a milestone of dedication, discipline, and patriotism. The new reservists embraced the Corps' core values and affirmed their readiness to serve. The PMC also thanked training staff and support teams for upholding the high standard that shaped these future defenders of the nation. This is Leonor Tanap reporting for FP Community News, 1FP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Lenore.
DWDD National News.
The Governance Commission for Government-Owned or Controlled Corporations, or GCG, has approved a sweeping restructuring of the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation. Under the approved plan, PhilHealth will adopt a new structure comprising 503 organizational units and 7,149 positions. These are designed to address issues such as outdated staffing models and delays in benefit claims processing, finance, legal, information technology, procurement, human resources, and general administration will also be centralized, a move that is expected to eliminate duplication of efforts and improve internal coherence.
DWDD National News.
The Philippine General Hospital has broken ground on its newest health facility catering to the needs of both pediatric and adult patients. The 16-story specialty center is designed to house 450 beds, modern pediatric emergency and operating rooms, intensive care units, and outpatient clinics. It will also include an expanded dietary department, as well as dormitories, dining halls, a canteen, and a 300-seat convention center. PGH Director Dr. Gerardo Legaspi emphasized that the new specialty center reflects the unwavering commitment to strengthen public health care infrastructure. The first phase of the project expected to be completed in 2027.
Armed Forces Radio.
Some information from Siya about 61st IB joins committee caravan to deliver services in Iloilo.
Yes, Rofh. The 61st Infantry Hunter Battalion participated in a retooled community support program Servisyo Caravan held in Barangay Dao, Alimodian, Iloilo. The event reaffirmed the unit's commitment to community partnership and public service. The battalion aims to bring government services closer to the people and strengthen interagency cooperation. It continues to support local governments in promoting peace, development, and efficient service delivery in remote areas. This is Shayna Raneta reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Siya.
Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from Gina about Ismincom records. Nearly 600 NPA members neutralized since January.
Yes, Rofh, the Eastern Mindanao Command reported nearly 600 new People's Army members either surrendered, arrested, or died in encounters since the beginning of 2025. According to East Mincom spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Salvacion Evangelista, the command intensified its operations against remaining rebel groups outside Davao region, which remains insurgency-free. Military forces now focus on dismantling NPA remnants under the 4th Infantry Division's area. A total of 254 firearms were also surrendered or recovered during the same period. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD National News.
The government is building a complex case against a powerful group suspected of orchestrating a wave of killings linked to illegal online cockfighting or e-sabong. Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla said investigators are working closely with a key witness who recently surfaced and provided a sworn statement naming the alleged mastermind of the syndicate. According to Remulla, the syndicate leader boasted of being able to beat any case filed against him, even before the Supreme Court. He added that they plan to talk to Chief Justice Alexander Gasmundo about this issue. The Justice Secretary said he could not yet disclose the identity of the syndicate head, only describing him as a well-known personality.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
That concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio DWDD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again next week for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Rofh Suzon-Abay for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.